Smell that? Smells like a new marathon.
The original localized version of Earthbound Beginnings somehow leaked on the internet some time ago, and English fans labeled it as Earthbound Zero. There was also the Japanese-only Game Boy Advance compilation of Mother 1 and 2, cleverly titled Mother 1 Plus 2. I guess you can't really call it Mother All-Stars when there's only 2 games at the time of the release.
I want to see if I can play these and recommend them to the average gamer, the common gamer, the one I can go down the street and ask, hey, you got a few minutes so I can tell you whether or not you should play this game or not? He probably thinks I'm a religious salesperson, but
canonically they're supposed to be Ninten, Lloyd, Anna, and Teddy, but since the game gives me a choice, they're now Johnny, Orlando, Susan, and Bob. Because in a game that's going for a more contemporary setting, there's always a room for a Bob. It's also asking me for my favorite food now. Okay, what is this, a questionnaire? Is it going to ask me for my social security number next? A caption to make sure I'm not a bot? This reminds me of Pokemon, starting our adventure off in the room of the protagonist. That's until the fucking lamp suddenly springs to life and attacks me. What the fuck? Here, so Johnny here gets everything in order, knocking down these lamps in his sister's possessed doll, and then he gets a call from his dad, who just nonchalantly thinks all this shit is the work of a poltergeist. Oh, those just happen every day in this house, do they? Lloyd is a young man who's viewed as a weakling, even by his father, the fucking asshole. He gets picked on and he loves explosives, probably as a result of him being picked on. What else is there to learn about the guy? Nothing much else. He can fix things too. Anna is a girl who one day dreamt that she would eventually meet the main character, and there you have it. Once she joins, she's a complete mute until she suddenly proclaims her love for the boy near the end of the game with a cute little 8-bit dance. I know they're kids, but where's the dialogue? Where's the interaction, the motivation? This comes out of nowhere and I'm confused. And now, for the first time ever, at the very end of the game, I meet the direct cause of the phenomenon, the real villain of this story, Gaigu. Gigu? Gaigui. Gygus. It's an alien that my great-grandparents raised like a human? A dog? I don't have a fucking clue, but it's grateful of my great-grandparents' hospitality, but wants to kidnap humans because they could be a threat? I am out of fucks to give. So Giggity retreats into his ship after I sing at him enough times, and everyone lives happily ever after. That was certainly an RPG story on the NES. Only in a world like in Earthbound Beginnings do you fight modern vehicles or hippies, where rats and teenage gang members can inflict pain by using swear words. Yeah, fuck you little prick, how do you feel now? It's basically what's happening. Oh, now this guy gives me my own swear words to use after I give him some strawberry tofu. Eat shit and die, you motherfucker! Yeah, there we go. It's strange. Memorable, it's strange. Let me see, what else can I say? The characters look like they belong in the Peanuts gang? Yeah, I'm sure it's a quality. Oh, you know, okay, it's Charlie Brown saying, eat shit and die, you motherfucker! This game right here doesn't know the meaning of the word balance. It kicks your ass early on. The encounters right outside your own house will give you one form of shit or another. They either score those critical hits with your meager ass HP, or they're next to impossible to run away from. And for a while, you're only controlling the kid until you permanently recruit Lloyd to your party around 5 hours later. But 4 of those hours is probably just from grinding alone, which this game is fucking packed to the breaking point with. Fucking PK Beam Gamma. Let's just call it fuck you, the spell. You can deflect it if you got a Franklin badge in your inventory, but there's only like 2 in the whole game, and that's assuming you even have room for the damn thing in your extremely limited inventory. You do not want to fall under any status conditions in this game. It could be a cold that saps your health in the overworld that's harder to cure than it needs to be, honestly, or it could be asthma that prevents the main character from taking action for a few turns, or the frustrating times where you're banded with a rope and can't do jack shit for God knows how long. Hey, I mean, like the move rap in Pokemon Generation 1. Maybe it's time I go back to that series, 20th anniversary and all that. Look, there's being different and there's being difficult. I just want to avoid more enemies. Is that really so much to ask for? There wasn't an enemy formation I wasn't sick of. Look at that face right there. That says it all. He's sick of it too, goddamn. Look, I was at Death's Welcome Mat by the time I reached the top. It was horrible. I wish I was able to hold on to Eve a little longer. It's a robot that was designed to protect the main character, and it fucks shit up. But it's taken away so soon after getting it. Just slowly pull off the bandage, why don't you? Now, we're talking mid-90s here. I was just getting into my RPG groove at this time. Final Fantasy 4 and 6, Luffy and the Fortress of Doom, and eventually games like Chrono Trigger. You'd get a confused look on my face if you asked me if I knew what Earthbound was. As I'm sure was the case with a lot of other people, my first glance at anything Earthbound was in Super Smash Bros. The main hero, Ness, was an unlockable character in that game, much to my bewilderment. Who was this kid? What's Earthbound? I decided to look it up and oh sweet mother two of Jesus! Yeah. Not a lot of people played Earthbound at the initial release. It also had a really shitty marketing campaign. How the hell do you expect to sell your product with a marketing slogan of, this game stinks? Parents probably thought that was a fucking one-sentence review from Jay Sherman, and kids probably took that shit at face value and thought the game actually stunk. Well, the game did have scratch and sniff cards, so that could be literal, but come on, that ain't how you sell a fucking game. And so now we've got Earthbound at a reasonable price on both a console and a handheld. Alright then, that only took around 20 years. The fuck?
Maybe I'll also find out why a lot of people wanted me to bring people like Chugga Conroy into this video. Well, he's not here, but I can compromise. Here you go, a picture of me and Chugga Conroy from PAX East. Chugga Conroy is now technically in my Earthbound video, so I hope that's good enough for some of you.
So once again, I'm required to enter the name of all the important characters in this adventure, as well as name my dog and my favorite meal. Striking some familiar chords here already, Ness doesn't even look that different from Ninten, the protagonist of the last game. In fact, most of these characters look almost remarkably like their NES counterparts. Anna and Paula, Lloyd and Jeff, the only exception is Pooh, the new face of the group. And the only one whose name I didn't change because his name is fucking Pooh. John, Deborah, Carl, and Pooh. I'm used to guiding young children through a life-threatening adventure far beyond their comprehension. It's not like my mom's gonna stop me, and my dad, for as much as he isn't around, might as well be an actual fucking phone. There are other instances out there too. Tessie here fucks me up. A Loch Ness monster that guides me to my next destination without ever changing that cute, derpy expression. Does this look like the face of Mercy, motherfucker? And this isn't really related to the story, but during a boss fight, my character began suffering from homesickness, an annoying status effect 99% of the time that causes you to skip a turn sometimes. But I got it around the time I was also afflicted with nausea, so right after I apparently blew chunks because of my condition, I immediately thought of beef stew. Hey, I could be on fucking death's bed, but you're never gonna get me to hate beef stew, and I fucking know my beef stew. What made me nauseous, to be over-exaggerating here for a second, was the random photographer that popped in what felt like every 15 fucking minutes to take my picture. It just disrupts everything. You know, you try and pull shit like this in America, and your ass goes to fucking jail. I mean, I get the point of the guy. He's making a scrapbook so at the end of the game, I can look back and reminisce, but sweet Jesus, leave me alone, you fucking creeper. And I don't think $10 is asking for much with this game. You better fucking not spend close to $300 on a physical cartridge unless you're a hardcore collector.
Welcome back, folks. Well, here we are, the end of the Mother Marathon, just 3 videos in, and the only review that actually has the word Mother in its video title. Mother 3 is not out here in America. Spoiler warnings are in Omega level Sanction 5, because I'm talking about the story.
Flint now begins his search for Claus with the assistance of Grandpa Alec, who believes Claus went to the 6 Magypsies, magical beings that are neither male or female but still look like middle-aged men in drag getup. Yep. Duster gets the shiny artifact, returns to his father, and it turns out to be the wrong item. I thought that was pretty fun. And now our attention shifts to this random ass monkey. Boy, this game is throwing me for a loop. Here I'm thinking we got a game where this family is going on an adventure, but the mom dies, the older brother disappears. Fuck, man. And I got this small monkey repeatedly getting tortured by this jerk-off named Facade, who threatens the monkey's girlfriend if he doesn't cooperate. But out of nowhere, Lucas arrives with a family of friendly Dragos to send the pig army packing, and thus the day is temporarily saved, and I say temporarily because we're just getting started here. The pig army are the law now, representing the great King P. Technology is more rampant, there's public transportation, the concept of money is now introduced, and the townspeople are getting accustomed to all of this. Oh, look at the cute little frog in a sports convertible. That's so adorable. Still living in the same house as before, Lucas and his father are constant victims of seemingly random lightning strikes, but as we soon find out, the lightning strikes seem to only hit those that don't have a happy box in their house. Christ, imagine if Best Buy summoned the light of judgment if you didn't own a TV. I'm now imagining Best Buy being run by Kefka Palazzo. Word has it that a man looking remarkably like the missing Dustard has appeared, playing songs at Club Titty Boo as the basis for DCMC. I know I should be making fun of the obvious homage to AC/DC, but frankly, I'm too distracted with Club Titty Boo. I don't care if it's supposed to be like Tai Tai Boo or TT Boo. That shit's Titty Boo. Club Titty Boo. Lucas wakes up in a sunflower field where he spots the faintly image of his deceased mother, but in a vain attempt to reach out to her, Lucas ends up falling a great deal of height back to Tazmily Village. Don't worry, the haystack below breaks his fall, and if Assassin's Creed has told me anything, you could fall from fucking orbit and be alright as long as you landed in hay. They travel underwater to a remote island where they get oxygen from male mermen breathing into their mouths. They get to the island and have a mushroom trip, and I'm not exaggerating that, they actually trip out on fucking mushrooms in what has to be one of the high points for me in this game, not because, hey, the kid is having a drug trip. No, it's the horrible realization that you have at the end. You think you're relaxing in a hot spring when tripping out, but for some reason your dog insists on not joining you, and then when you recover from your little trip, you see why. That hot spring was actually a pool of toxic shit. That got a laugh out of me. That's pretty fucking funny, despite the fact that, holy shit, Mother 3 has a sequence where a young boy trips out on psychedelic mushrooms. What has to be the most bizarre thing about the new Pork City chapter is not the return of Pokey or the scenic tour of Pokey's Earthbound memorabilia or even Super Toilet. We have more than enough reason to dislike Pokey. Motherfucker took all my friendly neighbors, which we spent a good amount of time learning about, and made them drooling drones with their CRTs and movie theaters that shows nothing but the Earthbound live-action movie on constant repeat. Oh, hey, look, it's Tessie! The gang managed to reach Pokey and lay a beat down, but the sniveling shit nugget manages to retreat into his absolutely safe capsule where he can't be harmed by anything. Thing is, he can't do anything while he's inside there either, and he can't get out once he's inside, and since he's immortal, whoop! Lucas, however, refuses to harm Claus, but Claus doesn't let up on the punishment, repeatedly smacking Lucas with powerful spells and physical strikes. It's not until Lucas receives some otherworldly assistance from their deceased mother that Claus begins to show signs of stopping, but my god, it's so heart-wrenching! Lucas refusing to buckle, the mother's spirit repeatedly begging Claus to stop, Flint stepping in and taking a shot for Lucas. Why is this happening? This is a nicely written, tightly focused adventure until the needle hunting, where I think Mother 3 sort of stalls, but my eyes and ears were always on Lucas, solely because this game does something Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound do not: spend a good amount of time establishing character for our protagonists. It's not until the last moments of the final battle where the game tells me Lucas doesn't know what to do anymore, and Lucas is heartbroken. That's it! That's the interaction I've been yearning for! You are fighting your brother that's been missing for years, and now I know for a fact that Lucas is shaken. This is it. Mother 3 is the one for me. Inventory is still rather limited, though because the game is chock full of those guys who can hold items for you, I didn't have to finagle with inventory management too often, but the fact that I'm still bringing up a small inventory as a problem for a third time means the Mother series has struck that proverbial turkey with small inventory spaces. Hey, it's consistent, I guess. With the first 2 Mother games finally available for audiences worldwide, I sincerely believe it's only a matter of time before we get the last one. After playing it though, I can kind of see why it's taken so long to be released, besides potential sales numbers being limited to fans of the series, or Reggie Fils-Aimé incinerating those that ask.
My longest marathon followed by my shortest marathon. It's just funny how things work out sometimes.